So, is there a doctor in the house? I've always wondered what it would be like to be a doctor and always worried everywhere you go somebody's going to say that. Well, I'm down here in Florida. It is March 21st, first day of spring, and I got called to take bees out of a house because I'm a bee removal company. So, is there a doctor in the house?
We begin each honeybee removal project by using our thermal imaging camera. As you can see in this picture, we were able to identify exactly where our honeybee colony was located.
We discovered 2 honeybee colonies in this house, and in this particular case, the entrance, as you can see, is right here, and there was a lot of activity there yesterday evening when the sun was out. It's rather cool right now. It's still morning time, and they go all the way up this wall, all the way up to that corner. So that's our job today, to take these guys out, and then we're going to come over here where we have a second colony, and they decided to locate themselves right behind this electric panel. So I'm going to hold off on the electric panel until we have a chance to shut off the electricity. We're going to see what we got going on behind this plywood here. I can hear the bees, so I know they're there, and it's a pretty good colony. Oh, there they are over here. Oh, that comb's been there for a little while. Okay, so I'll be cutting down here and over. This was a relatively small colony, and I'm guessing that it was 6 to 8 weeks that it had been in there. We have 2 pieces that the size of this, 1 piece this size, and a couple of small pieces. All these brood had hatched, and there's eggs and young larvae in there. Same on this other side. So we've got at least 4 weeks, because they have to build the honeycomb, lay the egg, and it takes 21 days from an egg to an adult. So at the very earliest, this is a 4-week-old colony, most likely a 6-week, because they had to build the comb, and it takes a while to get that going. We have a whole bunch of bees hatching here though, so this is day 21 for these bees right here. And as soon as we're done putting these in to the frames, I'm going to then spray paint the interior of that cavity so it covers up any of the hive smells, and then I'll fill that cavity with insulation so bees can't use it again. If we don't do that, then they can reuse that space because it will have some hive smells in it. So let's just go ahead and wire one of these in. I'll show you how I do it. I usually just use the frame itself as a measuring device, and unfortunately I got to cut it because we're using smaller frames here. But this piece fit right in. So as you can see, that now fits nicely right in there. I can pull this up. This will not fall out. The bees will eventually chew this rubber band and actually drag it out of the hive. I'll come back about a week after I do this, and there'll be rubber bands already in the front on the ground in front of the hive. So it's pretty amazing that they're able to do that. And So here's one frame. I'll push those together and they'll be able to take care of that. You can see right now we've got some bees already hatching out. That's a newly hatched bee. We've got some, see if you can see that. We got some bees, so today's their first day, kind of an abrupt first day for them. And we'll do that for the rest of this honeycomb. And close up that site. All right, we have all that brood now placed in the frames. I'm going to take some of this Kilns and spray paint that area. I've scraped out all the honeycomb, and then we'll go ahead and fill that cavity with some insulation. See, then bees can't use it again, and that's how we bee-proof the house. And there you have it. We're closing up the where the hive was, and we have all the bees in the bucket. I did find the queen. She was a nice big queen. This colony doesn't though have any honey, so we're gonna go put it in a hive and make sure they have some honey and some pollen, and they'll be off. So when you're rescuing honeybees, your job is not done until you put the bees into a hive box. The colony that we just took out today, it was completely empty of any pollen or nectar or honey for that matter. So fortunately, the beekeeper that I'm putting in his yard has a couple of hives. And so what we did is we pulled some resources out of that hive. Since we were able to save the brood, they've got brood in there. I didn't need to take any brood out of that hive, but I did take a frame of honey, and that'll get them going. So let's go ahead and install these bees into this box. You'll notice that the homeowner or the beekeeper didn't have enough equipment, so this is a good example of temporarily you can just use cardboard. We use cardboard as a base. Here's the base I was talking about, and for an entrance there's a little opening right there in this cardboard box, so they'll be able to get up into the box. And for a lid, we're just using this tomato box apparently as a lid. We'll put some weights on top of it. So let's go ahead and get going. So for installing bees that we take out of houses, very similar to installing a package. Here's that frame of honey I was telling you about. Actually on this side it's got a lot of pollen, so these bees are going to really like this frame. It's a good frame of resources. I'm going to take some of the blank frames that we have out on the sides. I'm going to remove those so we have some space in the very center to drop these bees into. We'll have a nice hole to drop them into. And I like to knock the bees down to the bottom of this container, and then makes it easier just to pour them right in. So got all the bees out. We're gonna have some bees flying around, and that's fine. I want to give them a chance to, just like in a package, give them a chance to walk up on that honeycomb. You don't want to crush any bees, so there's no hurry at this point. We did find the queen, and she's a nice big queen. She's not marked, so she didn't come from any of my hives. I mark all my queens. And she might have come from a tree cavity or from another beekeeper. And this is pretty much it. We're going to leave them alone for a few weeks. The hives that we remove them from has to be more than 3 miles away. The bees have a basic foraging range of 1.5 miles, and so by moving them 3 miles away, that makes it so they don't overlap the flower sources that they're going to go to, and so they don't accidentally or inadvertently go back to the original hive location. We're about 6 miles away, so we're perfectly fine. And these guys should recover and do fine.